Have you ever come across somebody who has high dignity and self-esteem, or somebody who does not express their feelings easily, or somebody who is a perfectionist? Well, we are not talking about many different people here, rather one person with all these qualities. Yes, today we will be talking about the most common constitutional type, that is Natrum Muriaticum.
Disclaimer. This video contains information on homeopathic remedy. The purpose of creating this video is to spread information and knowledge about this remedy. We strongly discourage any self-consumption of medicine without a qualified doctor's consultation.
Hello friends, welcome to another video by Visual Designers. Let's start our discussion on Natrum Muriaticum. Natrums are independent and emotional individuals. They are very dignified people. They have their self-respect. The keynote of Natrum Muriaticum is the suppression of emotional pain. In most cases, the emotional pain that is the center of the Natrum's pathology originates early in the childhood when the unconditional love that a child needs is not received. This deficiency of love is felt keenly by the child and is so painful that he soon learns to shut down his heart to some degree to make it less sensitive. Because of the inadequate love, they feel that they must be lacking in some way. They are very self-critical. Many Natrum individuals are full of guilt from a very early age and they never grow out of it. This feeling of worthlessness in turn makes Natrum Muriaticum individuals as the perfectionist. The perfectionism of Natrum Mur is motivated by the feeling of being not good enough. And one way of countering this is to do their absolute best at everything. Natrum Mur has set their own high standards and they always try to achieve that standards in their performance. They are fastidious and punctual and they feel themselves to be unique and exclusive. They also tend to put great importance on appearance. Emotionally, they are very sensitive and fragile. As because they feel themselves dignified, they cannot tolerate criticism, humiliation, rudeness, scolding, reprimands, and opinion of others. They get offended easily. Natrum Mur individuals are reserved, introvert, and control individuals. The more close they are, the more controlled they are. Since it takes a great deal of self-control to avoid showing feelings and also to avoid situations which may elicit feelings. Hence, they are called secretive people.
I expected more from you. You have let me down.
Don't worry. I can understand, it's not your fault.
It happens.
Natrum impose control on themselves by not allowing themselves to express their emotions. They don't like to share their feelings and they always hide their emotions. In an attempt to hide the unpleasant feelings, they smile a lot. Someone who smiles all the time is either insane or a Natrum individual. They put on a cheerful front. They smile when they are unhappy. The more brittle the smile, the greater the unhappiness underneath. Even more pathological is the Natrum who is always laughing. Many Natrum laughs when they admit to serious matters which upset them. That's why it is said that they laugh at serious matters or they laugh at unsuitable times. Their laughing alternates with weeping. Can you think why Natrums are reserved or why they do not talk about how they feel? Because they know that they will not be understood. They have not learned to cut off their feelings entirely and so they tend to seek solitude rather than have to pretend that they are happy. They begin to develop a tough image since they do not want to admit either to themselves or to anyone else that they are hurt inside. Since Natrum people tend to bottle up their unpleasant emotions, they have a constant emotional tension within which then erupt with force. There can be many different stimuli which may trigger an upsurge of emotions in Natrum people. The most common are criticism, rejection, humiliation, rudeness, reprimands, social disapproval, etc. They hate being made fun of. They get offended easily. After such incidences, they isolate themselves. They become sad and tearful but would not cry in front of others. Natrums always prefer to cry when alone. This is because crying is considered a weakness, and they, being a dignified and self-respective person, don't want to show their weakness to others. Moreover, they are sensitive to opinion of others. Another reason is the natural human tendency to show sympathy and to console the one who is weeping, and natrums don't like sympathy and consolation. Consolation aggravates the state of mind, the melancholy, the tearfulness, and sometimes bring on anger. They develop hatred of the person who have offended them. They nurse their grievances for years and are angry much of the time. They become discontented with everything. The more hurt the natrum is, the more dangerous is his anger. It is all the more dangerous because it is bottled up most of the time. The longer it is bottled, the more violently natrum's anger explodes. This in turn leads to the revengeful attitude of natrum individuals. Natrum Murs are highly sentimental individuals. They have an affinity to fall in love very easily. They give their 100% in their relationship. They are so loyal that they follow their partner blindly. They develop a fear of losing their loved ones. Natrum have a sense of abandonment deep inside and so are extremely sensitive to loss of love. For this reason, they tend to suffer greatly when they lose someone, whether through separation or death. Grief then is the first painful emotion that the natrum individual faces, and it is buried deep inside. When natrum loses someone dear to him, it feels unbearable, since it activates the most unbearable pain of feeling abandoned. There are two common abnormal grief reactions in natrum individuals. The first is the complete lack of reaction. The person enters into a state of silent grief, great sadness and joylessness. No matter how cheering the circumstances will be, they cannot bring themselves into the state of being joyful. They became benumbed to impressions. The other reaction is a prolonged and particularly deep version of normal grief process. The individual is at first in shock, which quickly gives way to profound sadness and heavy sobbing. The person may remain in a state of grieving for months or even years. Any reminder of the lost one will precipitate tears in eyes and a heavy load of grief inside. It is quite common for natrums to suppress their grief deliberately because they feel that they have to be strong either for the sake of their family or to prevent themselves falling into a depression. Unfortunately, they do not realize that such tactics backfire some other time since they result in further suffering down the line. Natrum becomes depressed as a result of suppressing sadness. The characteristic thing about a natrum depression is that it is silent for the most part. The feeling of sadness and anxiety are not expressed verbally to anyone, and very often tears are fought back. They are resisted for several reasons. They become absent-minded and lose their ambition in life. They keep brooding over disagreeable events. Patient develops indifference to joy. There is profound melancholy and sadness, which induces a constant recurrence to unpleasant recollections, leading to sleeplessness. Patient suffers from weakness of memory and excessive forgetfulness. They are tired of life. There is loathing of life. Suicidal thoughts are common when natrum is deeply depressed. Those who do seek release from suffering through death usually do it quietly, using sleeping tablets, etc. So this was our presentation on Natrum Mur today. If you have found value in this video, please don't forget to like and share it with others. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so now. Please comment and provide your valuable feedback. Thanks for watching. Bye.